Kids. They grow up so fast. One day they're taking their first steps, and the next, they don't fit into the tiny sneakers they took them in. You blink your eyes and their princess dress is 2 sizes too small, and their dinosaur backpack isn't cool anymore. But don't cry because they're growing up. Smile, because you can profit off of it. For real, there are a bunch of parents on Depop looking for the stuff your kid just grew out of. Download Depop to start selling.
Toast the holidays in a new way and raise a glass of rum chata. A delicious creamy blend of horchata with rum. Enjoy it over ice or in your coffee. Rum chata, your holiday cocktails just got sweeter. Tap or click the banner for more. Drink responsibly. Caribbean rum with real dairy cream, natural and artificial flavors. Alcohol 13.75% by volume, 27.5 proof. Copyright 2025 Agave Logo Brands, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. All rights reserved.
The Last Show with David Cooper, where we utilize non-linear reverse, inverse, backward thinking protocols. It sounds like this.
Legal implications of the holidays. Lawsuits and the holidays go together amazingly, like hot cocoa and candy canes. Or maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't take legal action against your relatives to enjoy the holiday season. We're going to go over some examples of things you might not want to do with your lawyer over Christmas. I'm joined by law professor at the University of British Columbia, Adam Hofri-Winogradow. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start here. You've got relatives who are annoying, but you've agreed to house them, to let them sleep at your place over Christmas. And then all of a sudden you realize you want them out. Do you need to give them a written eviction notice?
No, you don't. Do you want the full legal explanation?
I do, actually. I'm always interested in technical legal explanations for silly scenarios.
Law school is fun. I mean, the technical legal explanation is that by allowing your guests to enter your home, they've not turned into your tenants, right? There's no lease going on. All you've given them is what's called a license to enter. And the license to enter, first, you can give it orally, right? You don't need to give it in writing. And because you've given it orally, it's also terminable at will using the same method of termination as you've used for granting it. So orally, meaning you are within your rights to just tell your annoying relatives, get out.
So if I tell my father-in-law to get the heck out on a legal basis, I'm fine. But on a social family basis, I might be in a lot of trouble, though. But that's beyond your, purview as a lawyer.
100%. No, actually, it's not. And socially speaking, this would depend on your family dynamics. Maybe you're used to evicting each other. Who knows?
Okay. This one's interesting. Gift giving. Can you take a gift back? Like, let's say I gave somebody something really expensive and then they did something mean to me and I realized I could actually use the money and I don't want to have given them that $500 computer, widget, whatever. Can I ask them for my gift back, or once it's given, that is their property?
Okay, so fortunately for you, the law actually deems most uncompensated transfers to be trusts. So let me explain. Right? I mean,
Okay.
it's common that people make... Okay, let me take that back. It's surprisingly relatively common that people make large uncompensated transfers of money or some asset. And with one exception, the law always deems these transfers to be trusts. What this means is that if, for example, we've just met, if I transfer my condo to you,
Please
the
do.
law, I will consider this, the law will presume the transfer to be a trust, meaning that I've made you a trustee for me. Given the existence of this trust, I can now ask you, and I can even direct you, and you will have to obey to transfer the condo back to me. Okay,
So we've
law...
just met. We've just met right now. You're a law professor on my radio show. Are you telling me if you transfer me $1 million, you can then immediately say, actually, I need that back?
Yes, with one exception. If, unbeknownst to me, you are my minor child, then the presumption is the other way. In that case, it's presumed to be a gift. But to the best of my Not that you are not my minor child. For one
Well, I'm
thing,
certainly
you don't
not a
seem to be a
minor.
minor. Yeah.
I'm certainly not a minor. I haven't seen the DNA test, but it would be highly irregular. Is there a time window, or if I give someone an expensive gift years later, I can ask for it back?
There's not much of a time window and I'll explain why this is, right? Because the law knows that especially with older folks, right? They are unfortunately sometimes prevailed on to make all kinds of transfers that they have not clearly voluntarily chosen to make. Okay, so in these situations, you want to leave a long-lasting option for people to rewind this transfer that they made.
Interesting. And what if you give me the $1,000,000 and in return I write up a contract and I give you $1? I believe the term is consideration. And yes, my ex-wife was a lawyer. No, I can't recommend marrying a lawyer, but that's a conversation for someone else. If I give you something in return for the $1,000,000, no matter how small, can you still take it back?
The legal analysis would be that the difference then becomes the presumed trust property. Okay, so then $999,999 would still be a gift, or rather would be presumed to be a trust in the example you've just given.
All right, I guess we have to be careful with gifts and not treating it like it's our property. I think that would be surprising to a lot of people.
Well, it depends. I mean, speaking less as a professor for a moment, I guess with low value gifts, there's a social expectation that they actually are gifts. But when the law speaks of gifts, it thinks less of a $50 note you're slipping someone and more of unexplained transfers of major assets.
Okay, I'm going to do another legal hypothetical. I go to Uncle Joe's for Christmas. Uncle Joe gets a little drunk and undercooks the turkey. Maybe it's even his fault. He was too busy getting loaded and not paying attention to the bird's internal temperature. Then I get food poisoning from his meal. Can I sue Uncle Joe for poisoning me at Christmas?
Of course you can. He is a
That's it?
tortfeasor, and you can sue him, sure.
And would I be successful if I could show that he was negligent in cooking the turkey?
Depends, right? Because in point of law, if he in fact was negligent and you were harmed, and there's clear causation, then you will be successful. Yes. However, it's possible that you will at some point in dealing with this lawsuit meet with the social expectation that people resolve differences with their family members outside court on non-legal basis. Okay,
Got
but
it.
social expectation is one thing, and the law is quite another.
Okay, this one I'm hoping not to play into negative stereotypes. I was raised Jewish. I know we're talking a lot about Christmas and the Christmas holiday, but as someone who was raised Jewish, when carolers come to my door, I get a little annoyed. I would never call the police and accuse them of trespassing, but are carolers technically trespassing, or do they have the right to be on my property to sing at me?
Well, I mean, they are technically, anyone is technically trespassing who enters another's property without the latter's consent, right? And it doesn't matter what religious convictions, if any, the person being trespassed on has. Okay, so it's just that, as I said before, you can very easily give people a license to enter your property. And so, or you could forbear from complaining. Okay, so it's socially acceptable for carolers to enter your front yard. So because it's socially acceptable, people forbear and they don't treat this as a trespass, even though in point of law, sure it is.
All right, we've gone through a lot of scenarios. A lot of them hypothetically would end up in court. You might even prevail, but I think the real bottom line here is it worth suing your relatives this year, or are all these examples really not worth going to court over?
Depends on what makes you happy. I mean, if paying lawyers is your thing, then, as a legal educator, I would say more power to you and go right on. However, in the interest of social peace, many people would say that it's better to resolve family difficulties outside court.
Got it. So I guess in the interest of keeping law professors, law students, law firms, the whole legal industry in business, yes, please do sue your family members, but for all other intents and purposes, maybe not this year.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. These scenarios have been really fun to cover with you, Adam. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, David. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a happy holidays to you. Adam Hofri-Winogradow is a law professor at the University of British Columbia.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.